I never believed in cursed objects until I bought the painting, the Oilan, seated in a crimson chair that looked like it had once belonged to royalty, all set against a backdrop of storm-black clouds and dead trees that seemed to shift slightly each time I looked. I found it at a dusty estate sale at the edge of town, the seller pale and trembling, practically throwing it at me with a shaking hand, muttering that he wanted it gone before the seventh night and that it had started looking at him again, which I dismissed as the ramblings of a man who inhaled too much mildew and regret, but I took the painting anyway, hung it in my hallway between the bathroom and my study, and told myself it was. I started hearing soft breathing whenever I walked past at night, even though my cat refused to go near it, and hissed at the wall for hours without blinking. On the third night, I woke at exactly 2:17 a.m. I opened my bedroom door. The painting was gone, just a clean square of lighter paint where it had hung and a trail of wet footprints leading down the stairs to the basement door, which I always kept locked, yet was now hanging open by an inch. I didn't go down. I couldn't. Instead, I nailed the basement door shut, shoved furniture in front of it, and left all the lights on, trying to rationalize what I saw, convincing myself it had to be a prank, a dream, something explainablant, till the next morning when the painting was back, right where I left it. Only now the woman had a face, not quite detailed, not quite complete, just shadows where her eyes should be, and the faintest curve of a smile that hadn't been there before, and the trees behind her had moved, spread apart slightly, revealing what looked like a tall figure in the distance, partially obscured by fog. I should have destroyed it. I should have run. That night, the dreams began. Always the same. I was in a version of my house that was slightly wrong, the walls dripping with dark water, the windows nailed shut, and the painting hanging in every room, the woman's face, clearer each time, her eyes sharp, now following me as I moved. I'd wake up soaked in sweat, or worse, unable to move, lying in bed while the painting loomed at the foot of the bed, where it didn't belong, her hands now resting on the bed sheets like she was about to crawl in beside me. On the seventh night, I tried to burn it. Took it to the backyard, doused it in gasoline, and lit a match. But the flames curved away from the canvas like it repelled heat itself, and the gasoline pooled beneath it without ever catching. The moment the match hit the ground, I heard her voice for the first time, whispering my name from every direction, layered, like hundreds of versions of her were calling from just beneath the soil. After that, the boundaries started to break. I'd find my reflection smiling when I wasn't, or frozen entirely, refusing to mimic my movements. Doors would open themselves, and sometimes I'd hear someone breathing just behind me when I was completely alone. Objects moved on their own, small at first, a coffee cup, the fridge door wide open in the morning with rotten food inside that hadn't been there the day before. I invited friends over just to prove I wasn't going mad, but the moment they stepped inside, their expressions changed. My best friend, Darren, my neighbor, Claire, came by one evening to return a package and stared at the painting for a solid minute before asking, did she always have blood on her hands? But there was nothing there, not that I could see. At first, I stopped sleeping altogether. The dreams continued, whether my eyes were closed or not. I began to hallucinate her. Maybe I didn't, seeing her in reflections, windows, and photographs I hadn't taken. I dug through online archives trying to find out where the painting came from and found nothing. They called her and every story was the same. Someone finds the painting, strange things begin, and then the person disappears. No one knows who painted it, no record of its creation, no surviving owners, except me. One thread mentioned a ritual, a way to send her back. Silence for 7 days, and an unblinking stare under a moonless sky. I tried. I failed. I couldn't find silence. The voices never stopped. They live in the walls now, in the pipes, in the wind, and they scream every time I try to sleep. The painting changes daily. The background is now a forest, black and dripping, and the figure in the distance is closer, with impossibly black eyes and lips stretched into a too wide smile that shows far too many teeth. Her hands are red, her nails are long, and last night I woke to find muddy footprints leading from the hallway into my bedroom. She stood at the end of my bed, her head tilting slowly, and then she stepped into the wall and vanished like mist. I tried to move, couldn't, tried to scream, only air came out. I don't remember falling asleep, but I awoke to find claw marks on my door and my own face drawn in blood on the ceiling. I am not alone anymore. I don't mean that metaphorically, I mean literally. There's something inside me now. I feel her when I speak. My voice echoes wrong. My eyes linger too long in the mirror. I see strangers flinch when I walk past. The other day, I smiled at a child in a grocery store, and he began to scream hysterically, pointing at me, yelling, "She's in his mouth." I haven't left the house since I hear her humming now an old lullaby. I swear, my grandmother used to sing, and the painting no longer shows her at all. It shows me, sitting in the crimson chair, smiling, and behind me in the trees is a dozen other chairs, all occupied, all smiling too. If you find the painting, if it ever finds you, do not bring it inside. Do not sleep under the same roof. Do not let it see your eyes, because once it knows you, once it marks you, it doesn't stop until you're sitting too, in the chair, in the painting, and someone else hangs you on their wall.